Hi, it's Laura with Following the Paper Trail, and it is the third day of Christmas projects for 2011. And what I've got here to show you is how to make a message center for one of the Tim Holtz printer trays. One of these guys. These are kind of like his configuration boxes, but not as deep. They're about half as deep, 3/4 of an inch-ish, but bigger with lots more squares in them. But what I've done here is this one has little trays along the bottom, some little shadow boxes to put little memorabilia in it. And then here on the upper section, it's got calendar pieces, sorry for the poor camera work, but it's got the date, so the day of the month, and then the actual date of the month. And these all clip in with the little clips. And in the compartment back behind, it has the other days, so that you just switch that out as you need to, as it changes. Helps to open the clip in order to fit it in. Then here on this bottom section, I've gotten cork strips that I've gotten at my local office supply store. They're foam mounted with cork, but they could be just plain cork as well. So I've got little message strips on each side. I've used some memo pins in order to attach some little memos. And then here in the center, I've got some of the Crowded Attic paper, the architectural stuff, which is the one that I really like, having been an architect for 15 years. And then I put a piece of acrylic over the top so that I can then erase it. And it's essentially a white message board, only it's clear. And you see the paper behind. You could do stuff, really cool stuff with the paper back behind. I went for a grungy look with this one, but you can make any kind of look. Some little Prima flowers on it. I've also got some Can Company butterflies. Down here, I've got these little compartments. Here I've just taken some craft paper, cut it into squares that fit, so that can be for the messages. Put maybe some coins in one, spare keys in another, whatever you need for your family to put into these little compartments. And then again, just a little shadow box. So let me show you how you're going to do this out of one of these printer trays. These trays give you configurations of how you can set these up, but we're not going to be using all of the boxes. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be showing you a project that uses the leftover configuration boxes. So watch out for the fourth day, because that's when I'll show you how to use those. But so what we're going to do is, obviously, a lot of these big ones are going to come out, because we didn't use those. These other rectangles, didn't use these as well. So we're going to take these guys out, save those for our project for tomorrow. We are using this long skinny one, and it also has 2 of these rectangular ones. So we're using that. We need 4 of these for the little trays, so we're going to keep those 4. Then these 3 little squares and 2 of these rectangles, so 2 of the rectangles come out. And again, check back tomorrow and I'll show you what to do with those. So how this is going to work, as I said, these become the tray at the bottom. Let me slide this over just a little bit. And then instead of sitting in there flat, these are going to turn on their side, and they fit perfectly across this bottom. You may have to turn 1 or 2 to get them to fit the best. There we go. See, now they fit just great. So those go along the bottom. This long one is the one I use for the date, and then it's got a rectangle on each side, and those fit going across that top section, and then going across the bottom just above these, I've got it going square, rectangle, square, rectangle, square. So it's kind of like putting together a puzzle. So then that goes across the bottom, and that's the little shadow box. In the center section is where I put a piece of scrapbook paper, whatever look you want. You could actually have some piecing and some photographs under it if you wanted to. And then as I mentioned, the cork strips going down each side. Now these ones that I found were a little bit short, so I just filled in, tip this up a little bit. So I just filled in with some flowers at the base of them, and then I had the other one, the gap, up at the top. So the other one I put to where, well, you can't see that, but the gap is up at the top. And I just filled it in with some flowers. So let me show you just exactly how I then covered these. Is I used some of Tim's Ideology tissue wrap Comes in a couple of different patterns. This is kind of the terminology calls it. It kind of looks like it's out of dictionary pages. And it's like a really nice heavy weight of tissue. So I basically tore that into small pieces. So I just tore small little pieces. And then using some glue and seal and a brush. These are Claudine Helmuth brushes. If you don't have any brushes, oh my goodness, these are the best brushes. You can leave them in water for days. They don't fall apart. They are, oh my goodness, some of the best brushes in the world. Anyway, I'm digressing. So anyway, I'm going to use some of the Ranger glue and seal and basically tear this into tiny strips. And all you're going to do is put some glue and seal down in wherever you're going to apply it. Attach the tissue. You're basically kind of decoupaging it on and then apply it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess my brush up. I just got it all clean. But you're going to cover over all of the pieces that you're going to use. Now, what I did first in these strips is I attached them together. Let me lift this one up and show you. So I attached them all together first. I glued them together and then I covered over these joints with the decoupaged glue and sealed tissue over the top so you didn't see those joints. And then so I had 3 of those strips. I had the bottom trays, this strip, and I can't get the top strip on the camera, but those strips. So I did those in strips and then glued them into the background of the tray. I also covered just the edge of the tray as well. I just think it made a really, really, really cool look. You could do something similar with the tissue tape, but it would take a ton of the tissue tape and the paper works super ooper duper good. So a couple other things that I used on here is I did create a pen holder for my whiteboard marker out of a piece of grunge paper, sorry. And then here at the bottom I also, for accent, put a strip of grunge paper just on this front edge just to give it some interest, and also a little locket plate as well. Some key here. Up here at the top, let me see, I'm going to have to tip the camera again, sorry. Up here at the top where I've got this date, these are just clipped on with some of those clips. I've also then applied some of the charm hangers in the back, and that's how I'm going to hang it on the wall. The lighting is really awful right there, but so those are just using brads, attaching those to the back so then I can hang it. But this would be just a totally fun, pretty gift. You could totally make it to whatever decor you want. As I said, I made this one grungy, but you could totally make it fit whatever your decor, whatever you wanted to put down into the little compartments. You could even make your message center a little bit smaller and add more of the compartments, the shadow box type compartments if you wanted to do that. So anyway, fun project, would really be an awesome gift. So anyway, that's our 3rd project at Christmas. Stay tuned for the 4th project tomorrow, where I'm going to show you what you can do with these extra boxes. Don't have to let them sit around in your studio. We're going to turn these into fun things. So check in tomorrow for that. Thanks a bunch.